Hello and welcome to Parker's World. Today I'm going to show you how to make Tinolang Manok. It's an easy to make chicken soup, Filipino style. So an American is going to show you how to make Filipino food. So I have here the ingredients that we're going to use. Quite a simple dish. Some things that you'll probably be familiar with. We have some garlic. We have ginger. Got some red onions. These are the leaves of siling labuya, so Filipino chili plant leaves. I've got a coyote, which is like a squash. It's a type of squash. Sayote in Tagalog. I've got here some green chilies. Some of them are red as well. Of course, chicken, patis, which is fish sauce, Datu Puti brand fish sauce, Filipino brand, and some chicken cubes, chicken stock cubes. So I'm gonna get to chopping, and I'll show you when we throw it in the pot to cook.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut this sayote here, or coyote in English. Many Filipino recipes for Tinolang Manok will call for green papaya. So if you prefer or can find a green papaya, then you can use that. But coyote is a perfectly good substitute, and coyote is really good because it's really rich in vitamins and minerals. It's got a lot of folate in it, so it's a good, nutritious option for this dish. But it is kind of tough, so you have to sort of peel it and get a lot of the skin off of it. Okay, so just finishing up chopping this sayote. So tinola was one of the favorite dishes of Jose Rizal. He's one of the revolutionary figures of the Philippines back when the Republic was being founded in the 19th century. And rather than use green papaya or even coyote, he would use pumpkin or calabasa in Tagalog. And he would add brown sugar to it. So it was more like a rich stew. But as an ophthalmologist, he felt that the pumpkin had more nutrients in it that were healthy for the eye. So he liked to use pumpkin as opposed to a green vegetable like sayote or green papaya. And of course, green papaya, unripened papaya, is not sweet. So it has more of a vegetable texture to it. So I've got my sayote cut into bigger chunks. It's good like that so it doesn't get too soft too quickly while it's cooking in the pot. I've cut my ginger and my garlic and my onion. So now I just need to go over to the stove here and mix it all together and throw the chicken in, and I can eat. All right, so we're over here by the stove. I've got myself a preheated pot. I'm adding some coconut oil. You just need to add a little bit of coconut oil, enough to sort of saute the garlic and the onions and the ginger and the chicken so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. So I'm just going to add a tiniest bit of coconut oil. And then I've got about 4 cloves of garlic chopped here, 1 small red onion. I've got 1 knob of ginger chopped up here. You can adjust these things to taste, particularly the ginger. If you like strong ginger taste or not so strong ginger taste, you can adjust that. I'm only going to use about half the ginger to start with while I'm sauteing in the pot. Okay? So I'm going to chuck in the garlic first and let that go brown. So we've got the garlic slightly browned. Got some low heat going. I'm gonna add the onion, and we'll just lightly cook the onion until it's a little bit translucent. So now I'm gonna add about half of this ginger. This first half of ginger that I've added is chopped more finely than the larger pieces, which we'll add later. But all in all, it's about 1 knob of garlic, ginger. You can add more or less as you like. And you just toss that around in there in the oil. Okay, so I've got my chicken here. I'm gonna add my chicken pieces to the pot. I've cooked the ginger and the onion and the garlic for about 3 or 4 minutes in the coconut oil. So I'll just add these pieces. I've got 2 chicken breasts here. This recipe that we're doing, you can put 1 or 2 pieces of chicken breast or whatever your favorite piece of meat is, depending on the number of people that you're feeding. Obviously, if you're going to use more than about 2 chicken breasts worth of chicken, then you might want to double everything else that we've added. But let this brown in there in the pot with the ginger and the garlic and the onion. And here we will add some of the patis, fish sauce. So about a teaspoon. Sort of drizzle that over it. And then stir it up. All right, so I've turned the heat up on my chicken here. I want to get it nice and brown before I add any water or soup to it. So we're just mixing it together with the other ingredients that we previously added, and we're going to cook this until it's nice and seared on the outside of the chicken. So now I've got my chicken. It's nice and seared, cooked in the coconut oil. Earlier I used coconut oil for this, but of course you could use another type of oil if you don't like to use coconut oil or you don't have coconut oil. But we're at the stage now where we're ready to add some water. So I've got about 3 cups of water here. We might need to add more, but we'll just add the water, 3 cups, and see how we're doing. Actually, looks like it's going pretty good. Yeah, so I'm going to add a little bit extra water because we like more of a thinner soup. You can adjust the amount of water that you add to this dish based on your preference. So we're waiting for that to boil. I'm going to add another, say, 2 cups. Plus, once we add the sayote, then we're going to obviously have more stuff in the soup, so it'll get a little bit even thicker. So we'll just let this boil, cook the chicken for a while, and add the sayote. Now that we have a boiling pot of tinola in the making, I'm going to add my chicken stock. Just 1 cube. Bloop. Add another cube. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Add these little pieces of sliced ginger. Chuck these in. Stir it up. It's time to add the sayote, squash. Once you get to this point, you're nearing the end of the process, and just let that cook till it's soft enough to bite through. A few minutes, good to go. Okay, so see how well the sayote is doing. just poke it with a fork. If it's quite tender, it's getting there. Yeah, if you can easily slide a fork through it, then it's time to add the chilies. So I've just got 5 of these green chilies. They're not very hot, actually. They just add a little bit of spice to it, but they taste quite good. Just add these to the mix, and they only need to boil for a couple of minutes. And then we'll add the last ingredient, which is the chili leaves. Siling labuya leaves. And we'll add these in about 5 minutes after letting the chilies cook. But not every recipe actually calls for chili leaves. Oftentimes, malunggay is used, which is in English would be called moringa tree. There's a couple of other terms. The drumstick tree is another term for it. But we prefer to use the chili leaves. So we'll add those in a minute. Now, obviously, Western audiences might not be too familiar with either of these ingredients, chili leaves or moringa, or malunggay as it's called in Tagalog. So if you want to add spinach, that also works. All right, so a couple of minutes with the chilies cooking in there, and we can add our chili leaves. And these don't need very long at all. You're basically just, steaming them almost. So we'll mix those in. Cap it and give it a minute. And we'll be ready to go. So now that our chili leaves are steamed in the soup, only took about a minute. Just slide it off the heat and you're ready to eat. So we're gonna put it over there on the table and get ready to go. So there you have it. A plate of Tinolang Manok, all plated up. Usually the soup is served with a side of rice. Enjoy.
Masarap.
Hot.
Enjoy watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.